Today has been an interesting day. It started off with me thinking it was just going to be a regular day, and I woke up for work at 3:30, and I was getting ready for work, and the lights started flickering, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just kept getting ready for work and getting my stuff ready and getting ready to leave. And so the lights were flickering, but they finally went out. And I still didn't think too much of it because I just thought it was like gonna be like they were gonna be out for like a few minutes or whatever, and then they flick back on. So I leave for work, and I'm walking to the bus stop, and I just noticed how utterly beautiful it was because it was completely dark, but there were like cars driving, and you could see like glimpses of like the street and the trees and the wind blowing, and it was kind of raining too, but it was just like it was beautiful, just like seeing the darkness or seeing things move in the darkness with like a little bit of light. And I was just noticing that like, and then I got to the bus stop, and I waited for the bus and headed to work, and kind of hoping that the train will be running because I knew that the power was out. I didn't know if the train would be running, but it was, and I'm glad it was. But even with that, the train went out a few times, and it made me actually make me late for work, which was okay because I still made it to work. But I got to work, and when I got to work, the lights were on, and I was getting started with work and doing whatever I was assigned to do, which was blow up balloons because I work for Party City. I'm doing it seasonally, but um, I was blowing up balloons, and then the lights went out. They flickered at first, and then they went out. Just like when I was at home, like they flickered for like a couple for a few minutes, and then just completely went out. And when they started to come back on, when the power started to come back on, the first thing that you hear, or the first thing that I heard, was like scary music, and it was such an interesting scene. It was so like in a horror movie, like where you just like hear random music being played, and you kind of expect like something to happen, but nothing happened. It was just like a very interesting moment, and so I kind of forgot that the power had went out and all that stuff, and I worked my whole shift, and I finally got off, and I didn't feel like walking to like the bus stop or anything like that. So I got an Uber, and I got an Uber to the train station, and still not really paying attention to like whether the lights were on or not because that hadn't crossed my mind again because I just thought everything went back to normal. So I'm riding the train home, and I get to my station where I stay, and the buses are kind of just lined up, like not driving their routes. And I didn't think really too much of it. I figured something was wrong, like maybe they got detoured, or maybe they had to stop driving for like a few minutes for whatever. But I really didn't pay too much attention to it. So I waited on a bus that goes close to my house because the bus that actually goes to my house doesn't go to my house right now because of COVID. But I waited for a bus that goes close to my house, and I caught that after he had to like kind of like find a place to like let people load up. So I caught that. Then I got on the bus, got close to just close to my house, and got off. And I'm walking, and I noticed like this tree is like down, and something that they said at the train station was that I think they said the power was out or something like that, or a tree had landed or something like that. Something was I guess blocking the road, and I still didn't think too much of the power being out for whatever reason, but when I was walking home, I noticed like a tree down, and it was like blocking my path, and I had to like figure a way out around the tree, which was basically getting into the street and going around it. But I still wasn't paying attention to the power being out. So I was walking, and I kind of started getting the idea that the power was out, but I still wasn't really sure. So I made it home, and I instantly knew the power was out because one, my neighbors were outside, and just kind of the way that they were acting. But as soon as I got in my house, I knew for sure that the power was out. And yeah, like pretty much since then, I've been like laying in the bed and sleep, just kind of like enjoying this time to like really relax. But just noticing like the day, like this is like a strong or rather intense day for like shadow work because we spent the day pretty much in darkness, like total darkness. And for me, I didn't know why we were in darkness until like maybe like 20 minutes ago. I didn't know there was a hurricane that came through. I just thought like something had happened like on my street or the area that I'm living in, and the power had got knocked out because of the storm. But I didn't know what kind of storm it was. But it's a really strong day for shadow work because it's been total darkness pretty much all day in this area. And what I've been noticing like the past few days is that my shadow energy is being like pushed down, like it's being balanced out. It's no longer um in the forefront. It's more so being pushed to the background, and it's being pushed down to like where shadow would normally be, like into another dimension. It's not being held in this dimension anymore, and the dimensions are being balanced out. Like being a multi-dimensional being, I noticed that shadow and light energy work together, or my shadow and light energy have been kind of like inhabiting the same vessel, but not in a way that you would normally see shadow and light energy. Like light energy would be like in the forefront, and shadow energy would be behind. But being in this dimension, shadow and light energy are one in the sense that they exist at the same time. Like you experience light energy, and you also experience the shadow energy in the same at the same time. Like, but it's not like a it's not like an object standing in front of the light and then it casting a shadow. It's more like the light the light doing the light performing an action, and then the shadow performing an action, and that represented like these two things being in the same dimension, and these two things, I guess, like both being present at the same time, but not in a not in a way that's observable to people on the outside. Like it was observable to someone who is like observing it from the inside. Like you notice it from the inner world rather than the outer world. Like you don't like being a being like in I don't know what dimension to call it, but being in whatever dimension it is, you notice like, let's say like this, you notice other people's shadow rather than noticing your own. And being in this dimension, what I notice is my shadow energy and my light energy at the same time, like being played out one after the other. And sometimes at points simultaneously, like hearing my light and hearing my dark, or experiencing my light and experiencing my dark physically, mentally, emotionally, and so on and so on. And even if like the light energy comes first, like you notice the shadow like maybe moments later or hours later, but you notice it. And I know I've been noticing lately that the light energy and the dark energy being balanced out and the shadow energy being shifted back into its proper dimension, which is a good thing because it just helps to balance things out. Like Libra help balance that, like, a lot of things out, but Scorpio is some very intense energy. I had no idea that Scorpio would be this intense and the energy would be this strong. But I said it maybe well, not even maybe, I said it before Scorpio even came into the light that it would be some very intense energy, and this is not even close to what I imagined. And I can only imagine it getting even more intense, and I don't know what else it's gonna turn into, but I imagine that it's gonna turn into something much more interesting than even today. But I noticed like just like the beauty of the fall, like even though I noticed like the darkness, like the when I was talking about how beautiful it was to see like this small speck of light in all the darkness, and you could see like the sway of the trees, you could see the wind, you could see the wind blowing the leaves and the rain and all that stuff. I could even notice that in during the day where you could see like the beautiful trees turning colors, even in their stillness. Not even seeing it like in like the wind, like just seeing it in their stillness. Like it's a beautiful sight. I can honestly see 1212 how beautiful the fall is. Like it's a very beautiful season, and I never appreciated it before now, but I really do appreciate it, and I'm really grateful for being able to see it in a different light and just enjoying like the different colors that are present. And I never really paid attention to it. I always love the spring because it showed well, it brings new life, and it shows trees in a very vibrant way. But fall does the same thing. Like even with the leaves not being as like green, they still have a certain level of vibrancy that can be appreciated, and it's something that I've really been noticing and really being mindful of, and really being present when noticing these things, and really just at times just really sitting in awe about how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is to be present and to be alive in this time, to be aware of such a beautiful thing, of such a beautiful sight. It's a wonder I haven't taken many pictures of it, but it's some very beautiful things that I've witnessed over these past few days. Well, or I guess over the past few weeks because it's been going on for weeks. But yeah, and I can also see why this time is a very spiritual time because it we transition from basically the summer to the fall where you experience like so much light, and then you start to experience darkness. But the darkness is not something that you should be afraid of. It's not something that you should fear. It's not something that you should stray away from. It's something that we should appreciate and know that the light that we experience in the summer is something that we were gathering to take into this time of darkness and to really enjoy. Like even with my eyes closed, most of the time today, I noticed that there's a lot of light inside of me, and I can see light even though it's been dark all day. and I've really been enjoying that like over the past few days. But today, I really just took time to really notice that and to be really present and aware of it. And it reminded me of the leaves, like the leaves on the trees. They kind of mimic the things that I see when I close my eyes. Like you see bright colors of yellow, gold, red, even some greens. But it's been very intense, and even like I see a lot of purple and indigo now, in when I close my eyes. But it's very interesting, and it's very I want to say balancing in a way, because I see that when I close my eyes, but it's also present in the world. But and I haven't really talked to many people today as far as like really having full blown conversations, but it's still been a really great day, a really great day. And it almost seems like today has really been like a I guess it would be appropriate, but like it's been like a almost subconscious day, because I didn't really do much but go to work and come home, and I really didn't see much of the world other than being in my home and seeing my neighborhood and my neighbors, but only really seeing people at work and on the train, but not really even on the train, because I didn't really have my eyes open on the train, because for one I woke up at three something to ride the train to get to work at 6, and I spent most of the time like kind of catching up on sleep because I was tired. I didn't really get much sleep last night because I don't know if I got home late or what. Can't remember right now, but even on the way home, like I was tired because of work, and because I was constantly moving, and I really didn't get time to like sit and like be with myself in the way that I would have normally been with myself if I was at home. But I didn't really see many people there, and I didn't really see much of the world, or rather the city, that I would normally see on a regular day because I had my eyes closed. But it's been a very interesting day, and I'm really grateful for being able to see it in the way that I see it. But this is just an update on what's going on in Scorpio. And yeah, that's pretty much it.